Chips! Chips is the story of an overconfident FBI agent and a somewhat rookie cop who team up to find the source of corruption in the California Highway Patrol, which is also shown to CHP but also referred to as Chip. Oh, now I get the name. Rated comedies doesn't really work with the kind of way that I usually do reviews. If something works, it's a good point. If something doesn't work, I see it as a bad point. But with comedy, it's a bit more of a scale, so I'm going to give the comedy a point depending on how it did. Ultimately, I feel like the problem with Chip is that it isn't very funny, which is a bit of a downside for comedy, naturally. That is to say that funny things don't happen. I mean, I probably laughed more than I didn't laugh, but the film seems to be lacking any sort of real identity for its humour. I mean, it's got some kind of awkward humour in there, it's got a bit of witty humour, it's got a bit of character-based humour, it's got a bit of slapstick, but it never feels like it really goes all out with any of them. It kind of stops halfway and doesn't really let a joke develop, so a lot of times a scene will be happening and then it won't really go anywhere. It wasn't really a laugh out loud comedy, it's more the kind of comedy you watch and you go, you know, that kind of comedy. I mean, there was a couple of jokes that did make people laugh out loud in the cinema. It's just kind of few and far between. So I'm marking this as a positive, but only giving it a 1. Story-wise, the film is kind of a mess. Like, character motivations and relationships seem to change at a whim. Like, one sec, the two main characters are fighting each other, and then the next minute they're like buddy-buddies. And then you have this woman, Gob, who's after Dax Shepard's character, and she's kind of into him, and sometimes she isn't. It feels kind of unfocused, and it, once again, like the comedy, it really doesn't go all out with anything. I take the villain, for example. I think he's supposed to be sympathetic, but it doesn't really go all out with his emotions. Same with Dax Shepard's character, who plays kind of the neurotic cop. You can tell he's kind of the goofball character, but never really goes all out goofy with it. It just kind of stops part way. Though with that said, I did spend most of the film thinking, wow, that is an Aryan lanky version of Zach Braff. Do you think he gets that a lot? But it does score some points back for the action. There isn't that much action, but when it does, it incorporates a lot of different maneuvers. Like, we see a lot of jumps, we'll see like people riding bikes along staircases. There's a scene where they're driving through like a carnival, and it's probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie with just like some of the timing and some of the exaggerations. That's the example of the film going more all out, and if the rest of the film was more like that scene, I feel like it would have done a lot better. And that isn't to say that I feel like a film should be entirely goofy to be funny. But if you're gonna do awkward comedy, you kinda gotta go all the way. Kinda go more for Ricky Gervais's The Office. I mean, some films can kind of balance, not go and give away, like the Coen Brothers comedies usually just make you laugh with kind of how surreal everything is. This film feels like it's lacking any real kind of identity, and that really does hold it back. So let's go over the positives and negatives. Negatives is that it feels very unfocused. The positive is the action scenes. And I'm giving it 1 point for the comedy, bringing us to a 6 out of 10. It's on the good side of alright, but not by much. One thing I can say for this film is that it does have a very laid-back tone, and I did leave the cinema feeling happy that I saw it. If you're not looking for something that's going to make you laugh out loud, but you want to go to the cinema because you're in the mood to relax and you want to kind of chill, this is a pretty decent one, and you'll get some laughs out of it. Not a hearty recommendation, but could be a fun evening. Take care now, bye bye.